your background very similar to mine. I've done a lot of different businesses. I've been a franchisee. I've tech companies. I have product companies. I have service-based companies, right? I have storage, and then I have other assets, obviously educational businesses. There's kind of a wide array. And so when I talk to people a lot about storage, it's not because this is my thing and this is what I know and I don't really know anything else.
Yeah.
That's not true at all. Storage wasn't what I was originally doing. In fact, even when we were doing storage and as we were doing it, I did not think storage would be the thing. I thought it was going to be all these other things. So we were doing it, but I was doing other things, right? And so we could see the pros and we could see where it was going and why it was good, the long-term value. And, you have kind of a very similar background and you understand those positives and the negatives because there's no such thing as an asset that is perfect. I've been telling people for years that this whole idea that self-storage was recession-proof. I literally would lose it. People in my office and around it said that's my trigger word is when people would say self-storage is recession-proof back, and 20.
We heard that many times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was like, I would lose my mind. But it is when you compare it and actually look at the assets and when you compare it to other industries, it is clear that there are a lot of really, really strong positives that are disproportionate to the negatives. And that's the thing that I found interesting, where the upside and the benefits of it were very disproportionate to the downsides, where in a lot of industries and assets, the upsides may be awesome, but the downsides are very proportionate to that, right? This idea that, in order to make more, you have to risk way more. And
Absolutely.
I don't like that narrative because it means that there's an exact correlation. And I don't think that's necessarily true. And I think good business people also disagree that that's true. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's like that viewpoint of you're just gambling. And storage was kind of that thing that set apart. I was like, I can see all this upside and everything, but I can see where the downside is, how we can manage it. But even not managing the downside, it was still disproportionate to the upside. And the long-term evolution of it was very clear, where it was like, this is a need. There's fundamental drivers, right, which make up for a good industry. Now, as you get into it, that doesn't take away the fact that you have to learn and that you are a main component in the success or failure of individual assets and facilities, and that will never go away, and you'll never be perfect also. So there's, this coalition of experience actually failing while doing it, actually being successful and putting those things together. And I think that can not just surprise people, I think people generally know it, but can wash people out pretty quickly.